We got to talk some Clemson recruiting because the Tigers have the number 7 ranked class in America, and they just had their big June visit weekend. So there could be some more commitments coming. And Clemson's active in the state of Georgia. So we got Chad Simmons here, talk a little about some of their top targets in the Peach State. And we got to start with 5-star linebacker Tyler Atkinson. Plays this thing very close to the vest, Chad. You've known Tyler Atkinson and his family for years now. He just took this trip to Clemson. Is Clemson maybe the dark horse in this recruitment?
Yeah, I don't know if you call them the dark horse. I mean, they are a true contender in this race. Look, we know about Tyler and his brand, his name, the weight that carries, the value he has as a recruit in the NIL world. That's been the biggest question about, can Clemson compete or will they compete in the NIL world, against some of the top programs that are out there, like whether it's Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Auburn, Texas, USC. I mean, other schools that are fighting for a guy like Tyler Atkinson. We know NIL will be a factor there and kind of what they do to set him up for success as far as his brand goes. But when it comes to those personal relationships, seeing a fit in that culture, a fit in the defensive scheme, people that he loves being around, Clemson checks all those boxes. They have to be considered a true contender in this race. He knows he can go in there and be a face of that program, a face of that defense. He's been going there since middle school. He has a great connection with that staff. Mickey Kahn, the safeties coach at Clemson, was the one-time head coach at Grayson High School, where Tyler goes to high school as well. A lot of connections on different levels there. And they did nothing to hurt their chances over the weekend with Tyler Atkinson.
All right, let's go from a Grayson standout to a Buford standout. And this one's a borderline 5-star, number 34 overall, Bryce Perry Wright, one of the most talented edge rushers in the country. He was at Clemson this weekend, and like we said, he's from Georgia, but it seems like the biggest competition for Clemson comes from the state of Alabama. Auburn and Alabama, is that the way you see it?
Yeah, I think you look at the Texas schools too, Texas A&M, they're involved. You cannot sleep on Miami either. I think those are the 5. You mentioned Auburn as well. But I would put all of them behind the Clemson Tigers right now after this official visit. I think they had some momentum going into the visit with Bryce, and I think they added on to that to extend their lead coming out of the visit. Look, he's related to Grady Jarrett. So he's been going to Clemson since Grady played there in Death Valley. Has been around that program 10, 15, 20 times. Again, likes the people. Everything is like beating a dead horse. But every time you talk to top recruits about why they commit to Clemson, why they like Clemson, is the culture that Dabo Swinney has created around Death Valley. Just the people want to be there. They see that. They feel that. Bryce says the same thing. And when guys go, a lot of times they don't want to leave, and that's why they end up committing there. And I feel like Bryce and Clemson could end up together when that time comes, and they've made him a priority. He sees a fit. He has spent a lot of time with Nick Eason and Chris Rump during the official visit, and I like Clemson's position. Again, he has OVs left to Miami, Texas, and Texas A&M, but Clemson's definitely setting the pace in this race.
All right, let's go over to Colquitt County High School, where we got running back Jay Lamar. Now, it was kind of uncertain exactly where Jay Lamar was going to visit last weekend. There's some rumors it could be Ohio State, could be somewhere else. He ends up popping up at Clemson. What does that mean for his recruitment?
Look, Clemson does it their way. They have one official visit weekend. If you want in and you want to visit, you got to go on that May 30th weekend, and that's your one shot. They had the one big visit in March 8th. This time is May 30th. Come or be left behind. That's kind of how they do it. And whether you like it or not, I got a lot of respect for Dabo and the way he does things there. But Jay Lamar does too. They've really come on strong in this race. He visited Clemson for the first time in the spring. It was an eye-opening visit. He almost went back the next week with his mom. Obviously couldn't make that trip, but did make this one this past weekend for the official visit to Clemson. And Clemson continues to contend in this race. The big visit to watch comes at the end of this month on June 20th when he gets to Georgia. They've been perceived as the front runner, the favorite from the beginning of this race. Jay Lamar called Georgia his favorite for many months. He's taken a step back from that now and talking about Miami, Auburn, Clemson, and of course Georgia. Other schools are in the mix too. But look, Clemson's doing a great job of just making him feel at home, feeling comfortable. He loved his first experience at Clemson, probably loved the official visit a little bit more. Again, I think Clemson has to go through Georgia in this race with Lamar, but do not sleep on the Clemson Tigers in this race. He loves the people, the running back room, CJ Spiller, the running back coach, and just again, the culture and the environment around Clemson reminds him a lot of that environment in Moultrie, Georgia.
All right, let's wrap up this Clemson segment with two more on the defensive line edge. Dre Quinn, defensive lineman Cameron Cody, both from the state of Georgia. Does Clemson have a shot at either of them?
Yeah, I'll start with Cody. Obviously, he's committed. So he's obviously the one commit Clemson has from Georgia right now is Cameron Cody. I mentioned in a piece earlier this week on On3 that they will add more, and Dre Quinn could be one of those. I think Clemson obviously is in a great spot. They don't do a bad job on OV, so most of the time guys come out of there feeling really good about the Tigers. But talking to Dre and people around him in his circle, I think Clemson has made themselves the top school on his list after this official visit. He'll be at Georgia. He'll be at Texas. It's really those three. Notre Dame's been involved. Tennessee's been involved. But right now it's Clemson, Georgia, Texas, the main three schools for Dre Quinn. And again, just being around the people, he could not stop talking about just the culture and how he felt. Not so much with the coaches with him, but around the players who just love being a part of that Clemson community. And that could be a place he ends up as well down the road.
All right, Clemson fans, talk to us. You know, the one I'm really interested in is Tyler Atkinson because he's such a tough one to read. But what do you think, Tiger fans? In the end, are the Tigers going to land a 5-star in Atkinson? Let us know. Comment section below.